Uh-huh. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2.
Hello, hello.
This is the Blaze the Lion podcast. I am your host, Blaze the Lion, Blaze the Machine, Blaze the Superhuman Movement. I stole that from somebody else. In any case, I am here. Welcome all, welcome all. If you are watching this now on YouTube or on iSquad TV, welcome, guests. If you have friends, I think everybody here has a friend, right? Everybody here has at least one friend. So do me a favor. All right, do me one small favor. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a damn friend about the Blaze the Line podcast. We are live right now on YouTube and iSquad TV. Yes, indeed. This month's theme. This is a new month, September, a birthday month. Oh,
Your birthday?
yes.
Nice.
In 20-something days. I'm not looking forward to it. Well, I mean, it's life, yes, but I'm getting old.
You're in the 40s club?
I will be.
You're turning 40?
Yeah.
That's a big birthday. It's a big milestone.
Yes. So I know you all watching are like, he's 40? I thought he was 28. I know. This month's theme is schooling and parenting. All right, a little bit something different. So for this month, I'll be interviewing various people from teachers to administrators to those who work in the public school system to those who homeschool. So this should be fun. This should be educational. This should also be interesting. Right? Yes. And this is a family show. So you can sit down with your kids. I won't judge. If you got your 2-year-olds up at this hour,
Well, they should be sleeping, John.
That's where you come in.
They should be sleeping.
I'm just a podcast host. Oh, man. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, the Blaze the Lion podcast. Also, if you'd like to support the movement, you can go to anchor.fm/blazetheline/support. And we have 3 tiers of support, as little as 99 cents per month and as high as $10 per month. And you get Blaze the Line podcast apparel. You get access to shows and programs coming very, very soon. And also, if you feel that $10 a month is just too little, then I have no issue giving you my Cash App. $ Blaze the Line. See how easy that was? Feel free. Flood me with your love. I don't mind. All right. It doesn't go to me. It goes to Hendrix. It all goes to Hendrix.
I love it.
All right. So enough of me rambling, because I can do that somewhat well. Tonight's guest is someone who has been in the public school system for over a decade. All right. She is a school teacher, elementary school. She has experience with your kiddies. All right. She has aspirations. She has dreams to take over, to run the school.
Yep. Boss lady status.
Yes. This person is witty. This person is humorous. All right. As the comments flood in, I am laughing. I know it's just $99. One day. I claim that. If you're all saying hi in the comments right now. Tonight's guest is someone that I've actually been wanting to have on my show for quite some time. I just wasn't sure. Yeah, I just had to find the right theme. And what do you know? September fit that theme perfectly. So here we are. Tonight's guest is none other than, let's see if I butcher these names here. I should do this during the sound check, right? To get all the names right. One day I'll get it right. All right, here we go. Tonight's guest is none other than Miss Natalie Falero.
That's right. You said it right.
There we go. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. You got a couple friends in the chat right now.
I see that.
Mhm.
Hi, Melissa. Hi, Stephanie.
Yes, indeed. So, share with the audience just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've wanted to be a teacher ever since I was a little girl. In elementary school, I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician for like maybe 5 minutes, but then I realized that I didn't want to go to medical school. And I just loved playing teacher with my toys, with my cousins in the summer. And I've just always loved kids ever since I was a little girl. My mom told me that I was very empathetic to, even kids with special needs, and just always having kids gravitate towards me and just playing with them and having a good time with them. So pretty much my track was elementary, middle school, high school, straight to FIU, College of Education, get those 4 years in, finish my bachelor's. I was 20, about to turn 21 years old, graduating FIU. And I was working in aftercare, an aftercare program in a school near FIU. And I told the principal, hey, I just graduated from FIU in December. So if you need a teacher, hire me, please. So my luck was good to me. And in December, unfortunately, one of the teachers just got up and left. That I can't do this anymore. She had a 4th grade class. It was a pretty tough class, a lot of behavior problems. And I took over. The principal called me in and she said, well, it's your lucky day. You have a job in a 4th grade class. And I said, okay. I had studied early childhood education, by the way. My degree was from pre-K to 3rd grade. So I wasn't really thinking of teaching above 3rd grade.
Right.
But I just jumped right in and took over the class, and I taught them from January to June. And I loved them. And we had a really good, 6 months together. And I even had to prepare them for the standardized test at the time. It was called FCAT Rights. So I prepared them for that. And at the end of the year, the principal said, you know what? You were so great with the upper grade kids that I'm going to move you to 6th grade, because it was a K-8 center.
Okay.
So she said, I'm going to move you to 6th grade language arts. And I said, okay. I was a brand new teacher. A job is a job. I was not going to say no. And I said, all right, let's do 6th grade. But in the middle of the summer, her enrollment went down, and she said, unfortunately, I have to surplus you. But I know the principal down the street, so I'll take you over there. She takes me to the principal down the street. I walk in, and I realized that I knew the principal already, because I had danced ballet with her daughter for many years. And but she wasn't very kind to me in the interview. She told me, I don't have a job for you here. And I said, okay, thinking in my head, well, then why did you accept an interview? But she said, I only have Spanish. I said, okay, I'll be a Spanish teacher. No problem. I've done 4th grade. I was about to do 6th grade. I'll do Spanish. So I went in the summer. I took all the professional development courses to be a Spanish teacher. I bought the rolling cart. I prepared all my materials, and I started teaching Spanish. And for the first 2 weeks of school, I taught Spanish to all the kindergarten classes. And all the kindergarten teachers really enjoyed having me as their Spanish teacher. And the enrollment started growing in kindergarten. And she said, I have to have a new kindergarten class. I have to make a new kindergarten class. And all the kindergarten teachers said, put Miss Carbonell, I was Carbonell back then, as the teacher. And that's where I started my first kindergarten class in a little closet. It was a little narrow room, no windows. All the kids crammed together in little tables. And everybody gave me their behavior problems, because it was like, oh, if they're taking kids here, you could take this one, you could take this one, But I had a great year with them. And as a matter of fact, one of the grandmothers from that class still calls me to this day. And that was 15 years ago.
Oh, wow.
To check up on me and see how I'm doing and everything, because she was so grateful that I taught her grandson They had just come from Cuba. And he was very scared, and he didn't know how to hold a pencil, and he was tiny, and he would cry, and it was just. But I made the experience really good for him, and they were just very grateful. And then I taught at that school for 8 years, 9 years, and then now I've been where I'm at. I'm at PSF now for the last 7 years. So
Oh, wow.
my 15
wow.
years, teaching, and 15 years in, and I still love it because it's all about the kids. It really is all about the kids.
So as you were talking, I noticed that either you're tough or you demand respect, or it's something about you because you took over a brand new teacher. You took over a class with kids that had some behavioral issues
Yes.
and you excelled.
Yes.
So speak on that because not everybody has that.
Honestly, I really think it's your mindset. Okay. Everything that you learn in your 4 years of teaching, it's a lot of theories, behavioral strategies that you can use with kids. But one of the most important things in a classroom is your classroom management. That makes or breaks your experience. And when you demand respect from the kids, they respect you. They know who's in charge. You do it with love, but you're firm. They know you mean business, but they know you love them. So you can be very strict, but very loving at the same time. And you set your rules, you set your boundaries in the classroom, and you set your expectations. And you have to always set very high expectations for your students. And you want them to reach there. They might not all reach there, but they know that that's where you want them. So I think that is one of the most important things that I really stress in my classroom is the classroom management, the respect and the discipline in the classroom. So
I love that. That is needed. That is necessary, right? We figure that because it's early grades, the kindergarten and first grade, that it's a free for all, but it's not.
no.
Everything is structured.
Yes. And there's sometimes a misconception that, because they're kindergarten, because they're babies and they don't understand. They understand. Okay. Babies come out of the womb understanding. They are tiny humans. As soon as they come out, they have their personalities. Okay. Now, of course, there's the whole nature versus nurture debate. That is a big debate. But I really do feel like children are born with their personalities. But they know, okay, this is a boundary that I can push, or this is a boundary that I can't push, or, this lady is going to let me do whatever I want, or this lady is not going to let me do whatever I want. So let me sit here and let me follow the rules because I'm going to get in trouble with this lady. They know.
They know.
They know. It doesn't matter if they're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They know. So it's very important, no matter how little they are, to set your rules, set your boundaries, and your discipline. So.
Awesome. So with that said, has there ever been a day where you felt it was too much? You seem like you got it like all under control, but
a day in the classroom?
Yeah,
definitely. There's off days where, I don't know, you want to call it the moon, you want to call it the galaxy, you want to call it the long weekend. I don't know what you want to call it, but some days the whole flow and the whole vibe of the classroom is off. It's off. The kids that are normally working don't want to work. They're crying. They're upset. They're running around the class. They're throwing things. And it's like, whoa, what happened? Yesterday we had a great day. And today everybody's off the walls. So definitely there are those days in the classroom. And then you're like, okay.
So what do you do in those days?
It's not a bad year. It's a bad moment.
Right.
And tomorrow's going to be a better day. Today,
Right.
we have to accept today for what it is. And tomorrow will be a different day.
Mm. Yeah. As a personal trainer, and adults are much like kids.
Oh, for sure.
So I have certain days where I'm ready. I've had my great wholesome breakfast. I took my vitamins. I stretched. I got my playlist ready. And I feel I'm like dragging people. Where is the energy? Did you guys eat? And I tend to give lectures in the gym like, okay, I don't know what happened, but you didn't show up today. You didn't show up, So yeah, there are days where it's just off. I try to fight for it though. So even halfway through, I'm like, there has to be some way to get even the last bit of class to get some sort of energy or something.
You definitely have to read the room. That's
Yeah.
for sure. You see a kid who normally is like this, and then that day he's like this, or she's like this, and you're like, okay, hold on. How am I going to get through to this kid today? How am I going to bring them down from the ledge, and get them to produce, to work? But at the same time, which I like that you said the thing about adults are kind of like kids. As adults, we have been through so many things in our life through the years that we have developed coping mechanisms and strategies. If we're anxious, if we're stressed, if we're upset, some better than others, but if you're anxious, okay, sometimes just breathe, stop, take a minute, okay, bring yourself down. When you're stressed, let me eat this chocolate bar. Whatever. You have different strategies and different mechanisms that you have to regulate your mood. But kids haven't achieved that yet.
Right.
Especially the younger kids and even the older kids in 4th, 5th grade. I'm speaking on elementary kids only because that's what I've taught only. So we need to be patient with them and we need to be understanding and know this little child doesn't know how to manage her anxiety. This little boy doesn't know how to manage his anger. So he breaks his pencil every time. He doesn't know any other way of how to get out his anger besides breaking the pencil. And then you give him a new pencil, he breaks it again. So then just stop giving him pencils. You say, okay, you know what? If you don't stop breaking the pencils, I can't give you any more pencils. And then he'll just be without a pencil. Then he'll get a crayon, start writing with a crayon. They'll come up with a way. And then sometimes you just have to let them be and just go through their moment,
Yeah. I've always wondered this. Has teaching helped you? Not that I've wondered this about you, but I just wondered this in general. For school teachers, has teaching helped them as a parent? Or has it like confused them? Or are they like totally burnt out? Because I've seen a little bit of everything.
It
Some are
depends.
like, I don't want any kids of my own because at school it's.
It depends. It really depends on the person. And speaking about coping strategies and mechanisms, some people get so frustrated. Yes, what Stephanie said. Some people get so burnt out and so frustrated that they say, I don't want to have any kids of my own because I have enough being a teacher and dealing with other people's kids. And I don't want to deal with my own kids. And then there's others that I do feel they might become better moms being teachers because you meet so many different kids with so many different personalities, so many different issues, so many different strengths and weaknesses that you're able to sometimes say, okay, this kid is just like my son or my daughter, or my son and daughter is just like this kid. And what you do with your son and daughter at home might work with your student. Or, you try something with your student because, you are more inclined to be stricter maybe on your student because they're your student and you're the teacher and you're very accountable for their performance and their behavior, and you say, wait a minute, this worked on my student, let me try it on my kid at home.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's a whole range of the burnt out, I don't ever want to have kids, to, oh, I'm becoming a real good mom being a teacher because I have, met so many different kids with so many different personalities and things. So
Yeah. Yeah. I would think, would you agree that it may also depend on where the school is? Because, some schools you have the A schools, the C schools, the inner city schools.
yes. So it really could go either way, the same. So I really have only worked in two schools, both have been A schools. One was in a predominantly Hispanic neighborhood and a lot of immigrants. So the at my old school, I taught kids from China, I taught kids from India,
Oh,
I
wow.
taught kids from Cuba. So we used to call it the United Nations in the classroom. But the parents were very invested in their kids' education. That is a very, very important point that I want to make. Okay. It takes the teachers and the parents working together and being invested in the child, in the child's education, in the child's future. So if you happen to work in a school where the population is like, either they have so much money that they're like, a nanny takes care of them, or
Right.
you leave it to the teacher and that's her problem, and I have to do my thing because I'm working and I'm an executive or whatever. Or they are living at the poverty line and they're not worried about education. They're worried about, how am I going to eat? How am I going to pay the
Mhm.
electricity? How am I
Mhm.
going to put clothes on my kids' backs? So that's where their mind is at. And they're like, you know what? The teacher is going to have to take care of the education at school because I have to worry about all this other stuff at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many factors
Yeah.
that go into the education of one child, which is a point that I want to stress so much. Because yes, as teachers, we do so much for the child. We really do educate the whole child. We're teaching them manners. We're teaching them, this is a desk. This is how you sit. This is how you push in your chair. When you go to the bathroom, you got to put down the seat. Don't leave paper on the floor. When you go to the cafeteria, you don't throw food. So it's the whole child. It's not just
I used
academic.
to do that
You used to throw food?
in the cafeteria.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. You were
Yeah,
one
I
of
got
the
in.
good ones.
Yeah, I got in trouble a whole lot for that. Um, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense, and that's quite a responsibility. And even having a great teacher, especially as kids get older, then they get into different cliques and they're friends. So they can be intelligent, they can have all the resources, but then they feel drawn to those friends who
Yes,
aren't as sharp, who aren't.
definitely.
So
And not so much. I mean, in fifth grade, they start getting a little wild, because they're gonna get ready to transition to middle school.
right.
So they do start with the cliques, and this kid's cool, and this kid's not cool, and this kid doesn't do his work, so he's cool. So I'm gonna hang out with him, and I'm not gonna do my work, even though I'm super smart and I can get straight A's. But let me tell you, I have mad respect, even more respect for middle school teachers. So if there's middle school teachers out there, I don't know how you do it, because that is a very difficult time in a child's life. It's a transitioning to, I'm a teenager,
Mhm.
I want to do this, I want to do that, I don't want to listen to my parents, I want to be accepted by my friends. Their friends are their most important thing in their life,
Yeah.
ever, over everybody.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a hard time, and I can't even imagine as a teacher trying to get through to them in that stage of their life.
Mhm. Are there any teachers listening? Teachers, if you are watching, if you are listening, in the comments, put an apple. Put an apple in the comments. All my teachers, all those, or even if you work in the school system, put an apple in the comments. I'm curious. Yeah, as social workers, or you know what? Even if you just work with kids, tell us, because yeah, man, it's a lot. And even the entertainment, what they watch on YouTube or what they watch on TV. And I know me as a kid, um, I don't know if my parents are listening, but what I watched when I was at my mom's house was very different than what I watched when I was at my dad's house. Very, very different. So at my mom's house, it was the cartoons and the family shows. And then at my dad's house, it was Showtime and HBO and
Ay,
Cinemax.
ay, ay.
So at an early age, I was exposed to a whole lot. And I
Yeah.
was a good kid. I didn't really get bad till I graduated. Go figure. But it was just very, very different. So again, it's so many factors.
Yeah.
But teachers definitely play a huge role. I still remember a few of my teachers, especially my fourth grade and fifth grade teachers. They were able to breathe life into me. They were like, "You're smart. What are you doing?
I
You
love
can
it.
read. You
I
can,
love it.
stop talking in the back with the bad kids." Like,
Yeah. Like
and
wake
as
up
much.
and see your potential. And
Mhm.
don't waste it.
So I hated it because she was tough, but looking back, like it made so much sense.
But you appreciate it. When you
Mm-hmm.
grow up, you appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the kids that come back and say, oh, Miss So and so, you were the only teacher that told me that I was smart. You were the only teacher that told me that I had all this potential, and then I became XYZ, career. And it was because you believed in me. Nobody else, just you. But I hung on to that belief from that one person, because that's all it takes. It takes one person to believe in you.
Yeah.
To excel you forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
You remember your special teachers. You never forget. I hate, confession here. I hated math my whole years of school. Did
Same
not like
here.
math. I loved reading a book. I could write you a whole story, pages and pages and pages. But math, and ask me who are some of my favorite teachers from my years of school. They're all men, and they were all my math teachers.
Wow.
They're my favorite teachers. Mr. Reed, my 9th grade algebra teacher. He was the best. He was a Jamaican guy, and he was tall, and he was the coach of the volleyball team, and he had that awesome Jamaican accent, and I just loved him so much. He was so sweet. And since I was tall, he always wanted me to be on the volleyball team. And he would say, when are you going to join the volleyball team? I said, Mr. Reed, I can't join the volleyball team. He's like, why not? And I'm like, because I dance ballet, and it takes up too much of my time, and that's what I need to focus on, ballet and school. And he's like, okay. But every day when I would go to class, when are you going to join the volleyball team? Just such a sweet man. And I learned so much with him. And it was just such a joy to go to his class. Another teacher in middle school, Mr. Delgado, another math teacher, Cuban guy, hilarious, a dynamic teacher. I loved sitting in his class. His lessons were so, animated and fun. And in junior year, I don't know what I was doing. I took pre-calculus my junior year.
Oh, I hated that.
And Mr. Cohen, I'll never forget him. He unfortunately passed away already. But Mr. Cohen knew that I was not good at math, and I did not like math at all. So I would try to talk to him about different things. So we wouldn't do math. I would try to talk to him about the current events. He loved ballet. He was like a super fan of Miami City Ballet. So I would try to talk to him about ballet. He would say, Natalie, we need to focus on math. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And he was like, whatever you need, if you need me to help you. So sometimes during lunch, he would help me with my work. I mean, I passed with a C. like right there. But because Mr. Cohen helped me, and he believed
Mm.
that I could do it. So yeah.
See, look at that.
Mhm.
So all of that leads me to one of the elephants in the room, and the past year and a half
Oh
has been very different.
yes.
Yeah. So walk us through that. How has from last year, I think March, April, it's kind of when the whole shift started. So
Yes. So teaching, coming back to full time, face to face for everybody, you know, it has been quite a challenge. I definitely think that being a teacher during an ongoing pandemic, because now we're going to go into our second year, going into our second year of the pandemic, you need to be very patient, very, very patient. And I tell, my coworkers that my kindergarten coworkers that we need to remember our kids right now, our kindergarten students right now were 3 years old when they shut down everything. Okay. In March of 2020. Okay. So they weren't in school. The majority of them weren't in school at 3 years old. Okay. Maybe some were in daycares, maybe some weren't. Then the whole time they were 4 years old, it was the raging pandemic. A lot of people worked from home. They did not send their kids to school. They did not send their kids to daycares. They didn't send their kids anywhere. They were closed in their homes with their families. They didn't go out. They didn't socialize. They didn't see the world. They didn't build background knowledge, which is what we call it in education. You know, when kids have background knowledge, they come to your classroom knowing things, so that you can build on that. So fast forward now to August 2021. They're 5 years old and they're coming to school for the very first time. A lot of them. They have never seen the inside of a school building. They've
mm,
never seen the inside of a classroom. Other students, other kids, because depending on if their parents finally let them start going places or they were still, terrified to let them go anywhere, seeing
right.
other kids, seeing a cafeteria, using a book bag, having a lunchbox, having a water bottle, having a desk, a chair, all of those things are brand new things. It's like if I got you and I dropped you off in China.
Hmm.
Here, John. Here, Blaze. Go ahead. And you're like, wait a minute. I don't understand the language. I've never seen this place. I don't know this food. It's brand new to them.
Yeah.
So, as teachers, we need to constantly remind ourselves every day, every day, every day. They've never been to school. They've never been to school. They don't know what a desk is. They don't know what a chair is. They don't know what a folder is. Some of them don't even know what a book is. I tell them, take out your book. What is that? What's the book? And I say, look, it's this. So I take it out and show, this is a book. Oh, okay. No, take out a book. So it's definitely challenging, but you
Yeah.
definitely just have to be patient and just understand that we're living in a new world right now. It's the new normal. Uh, God knows how long this pandemic is going to continue lasting, and we just have to be resilient and just patient with these kids and do the best that we can with them.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Don't drop me off in China. China's actually always been on my bucket list. That's changed a bit now, but
Mhm.
yeah, wow. It's as you paint that picture, yeah, because they would have went to pre-K last year, but there was no school. Yeah,
No, and there was school, but half
online
of
was
it was
for
virtual.
yeah,
Then it was in person, but then it was like, I don't want to send my kid in person because they're gonna get COVID, and it was a very hard time. I understand a lot of parents did not, and a lot of employers, fortunately, allowed parents to continue working from home
hmm
all through last year.
hmm
Some people are now starting to transition back to the office like twice a week, three
yeah,
times a week.
Yeah.
but not even full time, even
Yeah.
because it in at least in our school, my school, there's so many parents that are picking up their kids at school at 150. We have so many kids that are getting picked up at that time. So you're thinking to yourself, these parents are either not working or they're working from home, and they have a flexible schedule to come on in and pick them up at 150, then take them back home or take them to grandmother or wherever they're taking them, as opposed to a very large population putting their kids in after school care
Yeah.
because they have to work until 5, until 6,
Yeah.
So a
Yeah.
lot of things have changed. A lot.
Those lines at 150 are.
Yeah, I know, it. But you know that us teachers work very hard to get that line moving.
Yeah.
You see me with my big old
It's
hat,
a structure.
that
Yeah.
big,
Yeah. Yeah.
that big green hand. Come on through. Come on
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. That first week, I was so lost. I'm like, what do you mean I can't park here? What do you mean the line's over there? But I was here for third. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Huge adjustments. How was in the height of the pandemic last year? Uh, did that reemphasize your passion for teaching, or were you fed up? Were you?
I don't think I don't know. I think I can speak for a lot of teachers here, but I don't think that it re-emphasized a passion for teaching. I think that it separated the I don't want to say it separated the boys from the men. I don't want to say it separated the haves from the have-nots. It separated the, do I want to keep doing this, or do I need to go find another job because this ain't for me, So it really did divide the teachers essentially into two groups. This is my passion, this is my vocation, this is my calling, and whatever it takes, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to educate these kids. So we have that group. And then there's the group of, you know what? I've only been a teacher for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, whatever. I'm just gonna go work in an office. This is too much for me. This is not for me. So and then there's also the teachers that are nearing retirement.
Yeah.
That even if they wanted to leave, it's like they really didn't have a choice because they're right there. They're not gonna leave when they're like tiptoeing near retirement. So I do feel like I don't think it re-emphasized the passion for anybody. It just clarified, it gave you clarity in your mind. Like, okay, I love this job and I'm going to continue doing it because this is what was my calling. Or, you know what? It's time to get out of here. I got to go.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And a lot of teachers have left, which that is a reality. I don't know if you've seen different articles. I know that Broward schools started minus 300 to 400 teachers.
Wow.
That just didn't come back. I don't know the numbers in Dade, but yeah, they just left and didn't come back. But like I told you, since I was a little girl, this has been my passion. So I love it because I love the kids. I have a good time with them in the classroom. I close the doors of my classroom and it's my world. It's like our home. We spend so much time before school starts decorating it, making it cozy, bright, fun, colorful, so that the kids walk in and they feel comfortable, they feel safe, they feel welcome, in the classroom. It's not this stark, cold thing that we're given, and we have to fill it with warm, things and memories that you create. And, the kids are hilarious, especially kindergarten. I actually started a little highlight on my Instagram called Things Overheard in Kindergarten, TOIK. So whenever one of my kids says something funny, witty, hilarious, I post it on my highlight because in June, I want to go back to that highlight and read through all of the funny things that my kids said through the school year. So I definitely recommend that to you teachers that are listening. It's like a fun little like memory book that you have at the end of the year, and it, you remember the type of class that you had,
Yeah.
that year.
Yeah. You have a question in the chat.
Okay, what's the question? I don't see it. Am I supposed to see it?
Since you see it here on the screen.
Oh, okay, got it in blue.
Mm-hmm. Since
Oh,
you've been
hi,
a
Andres.
teacher.
I know him too. Since you've been a teacher for so long, have you seen the difference in the anxiety level with your school kids? Okay, so I have had a lot of experience over the years with kids that do have high anxiety, um, especially in kindergarten. They have anxiety, the separation anxiety, being separated from their parents. They have social anxiety, being around a bunch of people, a teacher. Um, they have anxiety about just that they can't find the page in the book. And it's like, wait, don't go forward because I can't find the page and I need to find the page. And it's like, it's very, anxiety inducing. But yes, this year, definitely coming back from a pandemic, still in a pandemic, the anxiety is definitely much higher. And a lot more kids are exhibiting it. They'll walk around with their antibacterial, the whole day, and they're wanting to antibacterial their hands, or they want to wash their hands every 5 seconds. And I'm like, guys, it's okay. Like, we're not gonna eat right now. We're just sitting at our desk working in our notebooks. Like, you don't need to wash your hands to work in your notebook. You have to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom. You have to wash your hands when you come in from the playground, before we go to lunch, things like that. But yeah, some kids want to wash their hands all day. The bathroom, they want to go to the bathroom all day. That's also a sign of anxiety. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. The antibacterial, the not wanting to play with kids. I just want to be alone. I don't want to, it depends on the experience that they've had during this pandemic. Some kids have lost their grandparents. Some kids have lost uncles, aunts. Some kids have lost their parents, sisters, brothers to COVID. So, that right there can set them off, to either be with high anxiety or not, and also their parents, how do they talk about COVID at home?
Yeah.
Is it this big, like, oh my goodness, like, well, you can't be close to people and the mask and don't take it off for 1 second, and or do they kind of like, okay, it's a serious thing, but just be safe, like just try to like address it calmly, because that's another thing. You think that you tell a kid something that to you is not a big deal, like, I just said, your hair is black, let's say. And then they'll take in their, oh my gosh, my hair is black. But why is my hair black? But her hair is yellow. And my hair should be yellow. And I don't like my black hair. And I don't want my hair to be black. And then they'll start this whole thing in their head. And you're like, wow. Because different kids process things differently. And you never know because it's in here. And especially small children have a very hard time vocalizing their feelings and letting you know what's on their mind, how they're feeling, if they're anxious, they're not anxious. Some kids chew on the pencils. They chew the erasers. They'll chew the metal part of the pencil. They will cut papers. Some kids will pull their hair. Some kids will pull their eyebrows. I had a student that would pull her eyebrows and pull her lashes.
Oh, wow.
From anxiety. So there's all kinds of,
I used to bite my nails.
Manifestation, biting nails, going to the bathroom, doing little rituals, that you might not think, okay, that's not necessary, but to them it's necessary, because if they don't do the ritual, then it brings on anxiety. So it's just so many things, so many things,
That's a valid point, that what they see, how they see their parents or how they see their family react. If you have, and this is no diss, I'm just saying, like, it is what it is.
Right.
If they see their parents and they go to the grocery store with the mask and the gloves, and they get to the car and they spray all the packages prior to putting in, and they go through this whole process. Then they, of course, they're going to be in school. The kids are going to be like, well, we have to sanitize everything, and I can't do this because my parents do that. So,
Yeah.
Yes, a lot.
It's a lot. It's
a
a lot
lot.
for a little kid. It's a
Yeah.
lot. It's definitely
If it's us, if it's so much for us,
That's what I'm
and we're
saying.
getting angry at each other, whether you're vaxxed and you're unvaxxed and your views, if we're like that and we're adults,
Yep.
then imagine little kids.
And, really speaking on something serious, which is mental health, okay? Because a lot of teachers, that have never had mental health issues before are now going to psychologists, going to psychiatrists, getting on prescription meds because they can't cope. They just, it's just too much. So imagine an adult that can't cope, that has to now see a therapist and get on a medication because it's just the weight of the world and the pandemic is just too much. Imagine a little child.
Yeah. Wow. So we're going to transition to a lighter part of the program.
Okay.
We're going to come back to the important parts, but for right now, we're going to transition to a portion of the show. Those of you who watch the show, you guys already know. This portion is called Color Time.
Color time?
Color Time. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the part where I, the host, will yell out random colors and you will say the first thing that comes to mind. It can be a word, it can be a phrase, it can be a short story, it can be logical, vague, super spiritual, however you want. There is no right or wrong answer. It's whatever you see with that color. All right?
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I like games.
Color number 1. I'm reading the chat right now.
Oh, I'm like, where's the color? I didn't hear it.
Color number 1. White.
Wedding.
Wedding. Those things.
Bride. Wedding.
Okay. Color number 2. Okay. Purple.
Violets. The flower.
Okay. I just ran out of space for a second. All right. Listen, that's never stops. Here we go. Color number 3, red.
Love. Passion. My favorite lipstick color.
There we go. Red lipstick brings the boys to the yard.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I was told.
Well, that is my favorite lipstick color. It just pops.
Yeah, definitely. And now they have, well, they've always, but I see a lot of like red, but with tints of orange, or red with tints of.
Yeah, but I like blood.
Like fire
red.
engine.
Yeah, I like blood red color. I don't like the orange tint red. I don't like the light reds. No. I like the dark, deep red. So.
You ever worn red lipstick to work?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, okay. Have you ever had? Never mind.
No, now you gotta ask it. You can't just put it out there and say never mind.
All right. I was gonna say, have you ever been approached by any of your kids?
Like approached by my students?
Yeah. Like I remember my 5th grade teacher was beautiful.
Oh.
And she used to wear red lipstick.
Little kids.
With the high heels.
Let me tell you.
I remember that.
Little kids are the best hype men, for sure. Because they will tell you, you're so beautiful. Oh my God, gosh, you look beautiful. I love your lipstick. I love your hair. I love your dress. I love your shoes. I had a student tell me that she loved my toes this
Oh
year.
wow.
So they really do love everything about you. So yes, and they notice everything. I normally wear either my hair straight or in a bun and a ponytail. And one year I was teaching kindergarten and I came with my hair curly. I crunched it up, with gel, and I have naturally wavy curly hair, so it's not that hard to make it curly. And Stephanie, Ah, yes, you're beautiful, my friend. So I did curly hair. The minute I walked into the class, Miss Falero, what did you do to your hair? And I'm like, I just made it curly. You don't like it? And they're like, no, I don't. So they're very honest and they're very blunt as well when they do not like, your look. So that's definitely an interesting dynamic as well, being a teacher, you look good when your kids are complimenting you. Because if not,
There you go. There you go. Moving on. Color number 4. Green.
grass, the
Okay.
grass.
Okay. Greenery.
Yep.
Okay. Most people say money. That's a pretty common one. Okay.
Well, I guess I wouldn't. I don't know. I guess it's not the first thing on my mind.
Yeah.
Not like an instant connection
Yeah.
when I think green.
Yeah. Nature. Okay.
Nature.
Nature is
And
green.
green grass is healthy grass.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. We have a couple more colors. Here we go. How about gray?
sadness.
Why does everybody say that?
It's just a sad color. It really is. It's just like blah. Like
Gray is neutral.
it's great. Yeah, it's just like blah. It's just gray. Like, it's not powerful. It doesn't evoke like an emotion in me except just like sadness. Like great. Okay. I don't know.
Sometimes you gotta ride the fence. Sometimes you don't want to choose. Anyway. Okay.
Well, not black and white, but gray. The gray area.
Yeah. Like I'm not on your side or your side. I'm just kind of.
Gray. Okay.
On this podcast, whenever I bring up gray, most people have that same sort of sadness or like a down mood.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's continue. How about, I love this color, turquoise.
Oh, turquoise reminds me of the ocean. Like the deep ocean, like at a sandbar, where the water is so turquoise and so clear you could see to the bottom. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely the ocean. I love the ocean. So,
That's not the color of your chair, right?
my chair is royal blue.
Royal blue.
Hmm.
All right, royal blue. What you got?
Which, that's funny because that you said royal blue. Royal blue just is a happy color to me.
You can't say the chair.
Huh?
You can't say the chair.
Oh no, not the chair.
Okay.
Royal blue is like happiness, uh, energy, vibrance. I love royal blue. It's a beautiful color. So,
Okay. Let's stay in this blue family. How about sky blue?
sky blue. I mean, the obvious answer would be to say the sky. The clouds, the sky. Um, Sky blue is like a peaceful emotion. It's a peaceful color. It's light. It's non-threatening. It's just sky blue. Peaceful.
What about royal blue?
I just told you about royal
Sorry,
blue.
not royal blue. Navy blue. I'm sorry. Navy blue.
Ooh, navy blue is strength. Yeah, navy blue is a strong color. Definitely.
I've always hated navy blue.
Really? It's a
Yeah.
great color. And on a suit, a guy in a navy blue suit, it's a power suit for sure.
Mm.
Just keep that in mind for the future,
Navy blue blaze. Okay.
Navy blue blaze.
It's coming. All right, let's go with two more. Let's give you a color that most guys either don't know what this color even is, or they just struggle for some reason with this color. Let's see how the ladies do. The color I'm going to give to you next is mauve.
Oh, mauve reminds me of lipstick. I love a good mauve lipstick. I love lipstick. So a mauve just reminds me of like just a nice, pretty color to wear on your lips.
Okay. In the chat, do you have any colors? I'm curious.
Giselle put, hi Giselle. Giselle put fuchsia. I love
Fuchsia.
fuchsia. Fuchsia is like just vibrance and excitement for sure.
What color is that again?
Like a dark, like a hot pink, like a hot pink.
Okay.
Kind of like the color that I'm wearing on my lips, but
Okay.
more pink, like more vibrant.
Okay.
So that's fuchsia.
Okay. She says hi.
Yes.
All right. Final color. Here we go.
You need a purple suit though.
I have a purple suit. And it brought all the. Okay, never mind. Last color. This is a color. I teach my son that this is a color. So his mom may not agree that this is a color, but I feel it's a color. So
okay,
we're sticking to that. Clear.
Clear? Water. Clear water. I don't really teach my students the color clear either.
Because there's no like crayon that's clear.
Yeah. I mean, he said
it's a color.
Color.
It's a color. Clear, transparent, see-through. No?
I mean, we want to teach our future adults, our students that are going to be future adults, to be transparent and to be clear with people in their life. So that's more of an abstract concept for the older kids. Did you know that kids are unable to think abstractly until they're above 7 years old? So below 7, they are incapable of thinking abstractly. So you have to, teach them accordingly. Something that's developmentally appropriate. It is not a color. We'll have to have a talk with this child.
Listen, he knows clear though.
Tomorrow, I'm going to ask Hendrix tomorrow.
Show me clear. And he's like, oh, Daddy, right there, the water bottle, the mirror. I'm like, okay. So.
That's interesting. I've never met anybody that has taught their child the color clear. You're the first.
You're welcome. I do this. Unorthodox. Why not? All right. So, in these struggles, what advice would you have to teachers right now who are struggling? It's struggling mentally, stressed out.
Okay. The most important thing I think is know your boundaries. You know what you can and cannot handle. You're there to do your job, but there's certain things that you can take on and be able to handle it, and there's certain things that you cannot take on and you can't handle it. You take it on, you can't handle it. So know your boundaries. Set those boundaries. Work is at work, and your home is your home. separate it. Cut the cord. Work is at work. When you're home, your home should be your sanctuary. It should be where you feel safe, you feel comfortable, you kick your shoes off, you lay in your bed, you have a cup of coffee or your favorite cookie, snack, whatever, and you just unwind, come down from everything that has happened in the day so that you can get a good night's sleep. Then you can wake up the next day and do it all over again. But if you just keep on burning the candle at both ends, work all day at work, then bring it all home, work all night, you're going to burn out. Which brings me to my next point. It's a big buzzword, but I really do feel I need to work on it myself.
Clear.
But very important. Self-care. Self-care. Okay? Whatever it is for you. Okay? Whether it is lighting a candle every day by your bed, by your nightstand and reading a book, whether it's taking a bubble bath, whether it's working out, whether it's drinking a glass of wine, whether it's eating half a pint of ice cream, or doing yoga, watching a movie with your kids, whatever your definition of self-care is, do it and make it a priority.
I dance in my underwear.
Okay, there you go.
In the mirror.
There you go.
That helps.
So important. Know your boundaries, self-care, and give yourself grace. Know that you're doing the best that you can. You're giving 100%. So don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace. Just know. And like I told you, those days that the kids are bouncing all over the walls and you're just having one of those days. Okay, it was one of those days. Now it's over. Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Really, those are the three most important things I feel for the teachers that are struggling and are stressed and are overwhelmed, And like I said earlier in the podcast, it's teachers and parents. I cannot stress that enough. This is not a one-person job, okay? This is teachers and parents working together for the child. We're here to help you, parents that are out there, okay? We're not here to be against you, but we need your help because theoretically, you are supposed to know your child the best. So, you help us out by telling us my child is XYZ, and this is what you can do to help them.
Yeah.
This is what I'm home to help them. This is what you can do in class to help them,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Definitely teamwork. So what are your goals? Where do you see yourself right now? We're in 2021.
Yes.
Let's just say this pandemic, let's just say it only lasts another year and a half.
Your lips to God's ears.
Let's just say 2023, this is all history. This is a thing of the past, right?
Yeah.
In the next 5 years, 2026, where do you see yourself?
As an assistant principal of a school. Definitely. I can't stop, won't stop till I get to the top. For sure. I'll be taking my first attempt at the Florida Educational Leadership Examination, FELE, in about a week, September 18th. I'll be taking my first attempt. So definitely have some studying to do, some prep to do, but definitely by 2026, I will be an assistant principal at a school. Mark my words. That's for sure. 5 years. I can do this. And then a couple years after that, I will be a principal of a school. Hey. And I will retire from the teaching profession as a principal. That is my main goal. So, yep. I'm not stopping until I get there.
I love that. No matter what, through the pandemics and all,
Hmm. The pandemic can't stop me. Nothing can stop me
Just
except
you.
death.
Uh,
Death is the only thing that can stop you.
yeah.
So just try to stay healthy,
Mm-hmm.
take care of yourself, be as safe as you can.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that's inevitable. I feel like everybody's gonna get COVID at one point or another.
Mm.
Um, I already got it in July. So, but just continue taking care of yourself. Eat healthy. I know you're on that tip. Work out. Uh, so and
Yeah.
just tell yes, I really do love what I do, and it's definitely my driving force also to becoming a principal of a school because I do feel like I have a lot of ideas and I can make a difference being in charge. So yeah.
Indeed. What right now comes to mind? What's your funniest memory through
Oh my
this
gosh,
whole journey
with
of
my
teaching?
students.
Yeah, just through the whole journey of teaching.
Oh my gosh,
Funniest moment.
my funniest moment. Gosh, there's been so many. Can you put me on the spot? I wish you had prepped me for this so I could think of my funniest moment. Um, okay, I'll tell you a funny moment that happened this year.
Okay.
So in kindergarten, we have a list. How about with your coworkers? Oh, there's a lot of those.
Listen, don't name drop tonight and then tomorrow have to deal with drama.
No, we were actually just speaking earlier today. We had there was a year that we were all together and we just had a ball that year. But anyways, this year I I have a list of 1,000 sight words that kids should learn pretty much before second grade. Okay. So speaking of high expectations, I put high expectations on my students. So I tell them, this is a list of 1,000 words. You have a goal of reaching 1,000 words by June, by the end of kindergarten. I want you to work very hard every week and practice these words, and you're going to read them to me. And, so I try to do an incentive program. Every 100 words that they achieve, I do a little certificate. I take their picture and I post it on the Class Dojo app that we use so all the parents and all their friends can see. But then when they reach 500 words, which is a big milestone, because some kids will reach 100 words by the end of kindergarten. So if they reach 500 words while they're in kindergarten, that's a huge milestone. So I tell them, whoever reaches 500 words, I'm going to buy you a Happy Meal from McDonald's. So they're like, they're all cheering, so excited, Happy Meal from McDonald's. Some of their parents won't let them eat McDonald's, so it's like a big treat. So the other day, this little girl that I have this year, she's hysterical. She's a little anxious, a little quirky, but she's funny. So she's like, raises her hand, Miss Falero, can I tell you something? Sure. Because whenever a kindergartner tells you, can I tell you something? Get ready. Because it could be from A to Z. You don't know what's coming. So, Miss Falero, can I tell you something? I said, yes. And she says, I don't eat McDonald's. And I said, okay, sweetie, that's okay, no problem. I go, so then what am I supposed to get you? Or what do you want me to get you when you reach 500 words? If it's not McDonald's. She goes, well, you can get me Chick-fil-A or PDQ. I'm like, oh, okay.
She knows.
I died laughing. I'm like, okay, no problem. So that was definitely a funny because there's there some
High
kids.
quality fast food.
No, it's the bougie fast food. It's not McDonald's. It's Chick-fil-A or PDQ. So that was definitely a very funny moment this year in my class.
That's funny. That's
I've
funny.
had a lot of them, a lot of them. So
Like kids are hilarious.
yeah, that's why I started
They
things overheard in kinder this year because I forget them. Over the years, you forget them. So I
yeah,
wanted to document them.
yeah. Uh,
So
they have no usually they have no no filters, so they'll
No.
tell you the
Oh,
wrong.
and they tell us everything, all the tea from home, everything, everything. So the same way that they go home and they tell you, well, my teacher screamed, and my teacher this, and my teacher that. Oh, they're coming and they're telling us the juicy stuff. Then you're like, oh, I don't know what this kid should know this information.
Mhm.
Okay, so speaking on that, a juicy story that one of my students told me one year. You're not ready for this. You want to hear? You don't want to hear? So we're in the playgrounds. She comes up to me. You know, Miss Falero, my mom and my dad are not together anymore. And I said, oh yeah, that's so sad, Mama. She goes, well, yeah, because they switched. And I said, what do you mean they switched? Because we're prompting them and we're asking the questions to get the information. She goes, yeah, my dad went with Christy and my mom went with Julio or whatever the name was. And I said, I'm like, okay, hold on. They switched like partners. Like now your dad is with Christy and your mom is with Julio. She's like, yeah, yeah. So basically, her parents got divorced, but they got with their friends' partners. So it's like they basically switched.
Oh wow.
like, like this girl's giving me this information that's so juicy, and I'm like, oh my gosh! Like if her parents were to hear that she's telling me that, they would die. Like I could not believe you're telling all our business to your teacher, but they're innocent.
Yeah.
So to them, it's like, oh yeah, well they switched.
They
So
switch.
they switched.
Mhm.
Now this one's with this one, and this one's with that one, and we're just living our happy separate lives.
Parents set the example because your kids is spilling the tea.
Be careful what you say at home, what they see at home. Yep, yep. Very, very important. Something was going on before, obviously, Giselle.
Yeah. Yeah. What is done in the dark is revealed in the light. Right?
Yes.
That's the word right there. All right. So before it gets too late and I go left, and then we have Blaze after dark. And, um, let's end on a positive note. So, one, I would like to say thank you so much for being a part of the BLAZETHELION podcast, for being an amazing guest, for dropping gems, for sharing your stories, both funny and juicy, and just for being honest, and just showing others that there are people who genuinely love what they do, who are walking in their purpose and have a God-given passion for what they do. So thank you for that, most definitely. In close, yeah, I'm not bringing out Blaze After Dark. Not this episode. Next episode, maybe. We'll see. uh, in closing, is there a quote of your own? Is there a phrase? Is there a short story or even one word, however you want to slice it, that you would like to share, that you would just like to leave the audience with,
Yes.
all across the board? So to parents, to teachers, to whoever.
It's in Spanish, so
Okay.
I'll translate it for you. But it's I believe it's by Jose Marti. He was a Cuban poet, and it says, "Los niños nacieron para ser felices." Kids were born to be happy.
Mm.
So just remember that. Kids are born blank slate. Okay? They're born to be happy. They know happiness. They know love. They don't know discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know hatred. They don't know darkness. So just as an adult, that is in the capacity of working with kids, raising kids, being around kids that are going to hear you speak or see your actions. Just remember that kids are innocent. They're a blank slate. They're a blank canvas, and they become what is put on their canvas.
Yeah.
So, very, very important as a teacher and as a parent. And, nobody's perfect, obviously, but just when it comes to kids, be careful and just try your best to set the best example. Childhood should be happiness. It really should. Adult life is hard as it is,
Sure enough.
so let's try to keep the childhood, happy and light if you can.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what we do it today. Oh, how do people listen to this after?
Yes. So there's a QRC code, right?
Okay.
And no, I'm joking. No, there's no QRC.
Really?
Um, so how they can listen? So there is the replay that will be on YouTube
Okay.
at the Blaze the Line podcast channel on YouTube, and then also tomorrow, the audio only version will be available on all the major streaming platforms from Spotify to Apple Podcasts to Google Podcasts to Breaker to Radiocast, all of those.
How
So
long? How long is the replay with the video option available?
so the video replay is always longer because
Okay.
there's a whole bunch of extra stuff. So
Okay.
the audio is always a little bit shorter,
Okay.
but not by much. Maybe a few minutes, like 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
So but not by much. But the audio will be available tomorrow. I stay up late and I do my edits and blah blah blah.
All right.
So, but this video will be available. It's available now, so you can watch the replay starting now if you want.
Awesome.
And that is always up. Thank you all for tuning in. This month's theme for September is schooling and parenting. So stay tuned for next week for our next guest. You guys will see the flyer posted up. And for this whole month, that's our theme, schooling and parenting. And then the final Tuesday of this month, we have the world famous, well, they're not world famous yet, but they're locally famous, the panels, where we get a group of teachers and educators and parents all bickering and fighting, no, all sharing their experiences and their expertise. So this should be a very educational but fun, family-oriented theme. So stick around and be a part.
Remember the
Miss,
podcast we talked about earlier, John?
the
I got
what?
you. Remember the future podcast we talked about earlier?
Yes.
I got you if you got something in the works.
Yes. My guests, they always nudge and they ask for sometimes for guests who have been here. They give me their stamp of approval and they say, bring her back, bring him back. Or they say, please don't have them back on the show.
I hope that's not the case with me. I hope they
I
say
get all of that. So by tomorrow, I will know. But I'm sure that they loved you.
All
Trust
right.
me. I would know. I
Well,
would know
thank you
already.
so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. And I wish you much luck with your podcast.
Thank you. This is, I don't know what that means.
My answer from principal to go noodle dancer. I could be either or. I mean, the go noodle dancers make the same amount of money as a principal.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh
All right.
boy.
Well,
Yes.
it was
Thank
awesome
you.
seeing you.
Yes,
And for
thank you
having me.
again. Of course. This was the Blaze the Line podcast. How I always end my podcast. Peace I don't know the symbol for love yet, but peace. Yeah, but with one hand, I don't.
No, we can't do one hand.
I was trying this
Oh,
last time.
love is like this. This is I love you.
Oh, is this?
Yes.
Isn't that like something else too? Isn't that like the rockers uses? No.
I don't know, but this is I love you in sign language.
Ah,
So
okay.
peace, love.
See? Hey, there it is. Blessings, y'all. We out.